There he is, Arash Madani. Okay, first quick question. Are you still in Vancouver?
I'm not. I am out of Vancouver.
Second question, where do you rank that Grey Cup as far as, personally for you?
I thought it was as unentertaining a Grey Cup as we've had in a long time. And I fully blame Mike O'Shea and Buck Pierce for it.
What about the events around the Grey Cup? Because that's where I think a town really has a chance to, lack of permission, let its hair down and kind of show you what it's all about. Vancouver, it looked fun. Like that convention center looked buzzing, everything like that. Like what about that? Where would you rank it, Arash?
Yeah, honestly, standard, Barney. They know what they're doing. It's almost like they're a combo platter. It's copying and pasting kind of what works and what matters. It's the same standard parties. They have some, they had a zip line. They had a few other things kind of going on there, but they put it right in the middle of the fairway. They hit even par, no bogeys, no birdies, middle of the pack.
Okay, so for the game, and I think DA, you and I talked about this in hour one. I thought Toronto was by far the better team. I thought their game plan reminded me of how Winnipeg game planned against Saskatchewan the week before. And they weren't able to do the things that we expected. From your lens, did Toronto win it? Did the Bombers give it away? What are you thinking there?
I don't want to stay on the fence on this. I'd say both. And this is why Winnipeg absolutely gave it away. It was coaching malpractice by O'Shea and Buck Pierce. How that went. Barney, the most outstanding player in the Canadian Football League had 9 carries until garbage time. From like 3 minutes left in the third quarter until the last minute of the game, Brady Oliveira had one carry. And doing so with your quarterback having his finger gushing blood and all messed up and needed a glove and couldn't grip the football and couldn't throw. Like, look at this for those on the stream. Look at this. Oliveira was running aggressive. He was running violent. He was running through the A-gap. He was gaining yards. I think for his first 9 carries, he was gaining like 8 or 9 yards a touch. What are you doing? The plot was lost. Zach couldn't throw. Here it is. The first throw. Oh, no, that wasn't it. But the first throw was Zach wearing a glove. The ball just hovered in the air forever, and it got picked off. Just horrible coaching by Winnipeg in large part. That's why they did not win this championship. And Ryan Dinwiddie coached a masterpiece, Barney. He just kept Nick Arbuckle within himself, let him do his thing.
I thought that Collaros, the ball was totally underthrown, fingers swollen, frozen, stitches, and then a glove on. But then he also kind of threw the same pass earlier in the game that was picked off as well. He was just off. I know his speech in the locker room and it was the rah, but he didn't have any mojo from what I saw.
This is the first throw for those on the stream. First throw that he made coming out the glove. That ball looked like something you'd expect, a double-A baseball player on a shallow fly ball to center. That's how long that thing lingered in the air for. Look at the chase down. It's a hell of a play by Amos. But it's a chase down play from like 15 yards behind the target. Well, and that's how long that ball, hung in the air.
And to your point, why are you making that long of a throw when his first one coming out of a... Like, why aren't you giving him something to test it out? Why are you making him... And maybe it was Collaros' call. I mean, he's open in the moment. But why are you putting that type of throw as your first one with a glove on? Like, why not not an 8-yard curl? See how it feels. I don't know.
Or hand the ball off.
Or hand the ball off.
Here's the other one, guys. Like, and this is where I'm like, oh my God, the Bombers have lost the plot. So Collaros leaves the game. and goes into the locker room, and for an entire series off a turnover after an amazing Willie Jefferson interception.
Yeah.
They bring in Terry Wilson, the backup quarterback, and they have Terry Wilson throw the ball. What are you doing? The first one nearly gets picked off in the end zone. It's like, wait a minute here. What? Like, this was a game where points were hard to come by. You have the best player in the league right beside the quarterback, and you abandon him.
You know what? When I saw that, the first thing that comes to my mind was, did Terry call it off and call it audible? Because that's a ballsy play to go with a throw there. Maybe element of surprise, I guess. Okay, the three straight losses, and I know there was a lot of Dynasty, I mean, about the Bombers. I think we should be talking Dynasty for the Argos. We're close to.
Yeah, I'd say it's doomsday for Winnipeg. I mean, like, without hyperbole. Like, Arnie, when we talked on Tuesday, 1 week ago, the Bombers were 10.5-point favorites. They got run out of the gym, losing by 17. The score was nowhere near indicative of what a runaway this thing was. Like, I
thought I was psychotic.
Radio butchering Winnipeg, but like, it's true.
I thought I was psychotic taking the money line. Like, I've never had that rush feeling like a cowboy, sitting sucking on a gin on my couch at home, and I'm like, I'm taking him on the money line. Imagine if you would have had the stones to take an alt line on the other side of minus 10.5 for the Argos. Imagine what that would have paid.
Probably in the plus 800 range.
More.
Man,
yeah.
More. Like, to swing that 21 points, yeah.
But didn't we talked about it last week? Like, this, I find like this is what happens in the CFL championship game. Like, when you see a 10.5-point line in a CFL championship game, in a Grey Cup game, you got to hit it because crazy things happen in this game.
Yeah, you know what else this little dynasty has done in the CFL the last 3 CFL championship games? They've had a halftime lead that they've blown. Like,
yeah,
if you continue to fail in this second, that makes you a poorly coached team. Full stop.
What did you think of the halftime show?
Well, I saw a sneak peek of what was going on and at Shea Barney, and I wasn't dancing the way you were, just beeping and bopping the Jones. I did find it was interesting, though. Like, I'm one of those nerds who studies ratings and viewership and what people are watching. The game peaked at halftime from a rating standpoint. More people watch the Grey Cup telecast at halftime than the rest of the football game. But then again, usually those things peak in the fourth quarter, and there was nothing to watch in the fourth quarter.
That you know what? Kudos to whoever organized it. It looked pro. It looked good. Who are we talking with the other day? Eric Francis said usually they roll out a milk carton and an amplifier for the CFL. Like, this looked actually pretty good. They played a long set, I thought. But anyway, back to the game. Okay, so Arbuckle, I think it was second quarter-ish. No, late first quarter, where I was like, nah, this guy's going to be okay. Like, this guy's gonna be okay. What for you? Was there one throw that stood out for you? Maybe it was early, maybe it was late.
So we're at practice on Friday, and they're working on red zone stuff. And I'm like, I was really interested, kind of inside the 10, what they were going to do. Like, were they going to work Kadeem Carey, or were they going to throw the football? And they're working on red zone stuff. And you see Dejon Brissett kind of run an option route, and the play didn't work. He and Arbuckle weren't on the same page. One guy zigged, one guy zagged. Ball hits the turf. So, I mean, yes, the game was a runaway, whatever. But midway through the fourth quarter, this was still a ball game, right? It was a one-score game. Here come the Argos. They're back inside the 10-yard line. And damn, wouldn't you know it, Arbuckle hits Brissett for a touchdown. Maybe they're inside the 20.
There it is right there.
That route did not work in practice. You know what happened on Friday? These two guys went into the meeting room, sat together for about 15, 20 minutes and talked it through exactly what they wanted to do. Knowing Nick Taylor, number 12, was going to come across the play. And they said, look, if you see Taylor here, this is how we want to work it. If you're going to be in the slot in this spot, this is what we want to do. Arnie, they did not rep that play again until the Grey Cup with the game on the line.
Can you play it? Play it one more time. Who's the...
There's Taylor, 12, who comes right across the ball.
Who's the ball that who's the guy that he's kind of throw it over the one guy too, or like, because there's that linebacker, like that's a tough throw. That is such a tough throw.
That's a veteran. That's Brandon Alexander, 37, tails it over. By the way, great work, guys in the back. I don't know if that was
well done.
Curtis and Colson together today.
Yeah.
CNC.
Overall, I'd say 2.
Game ball. CNC get the game ball today. One extra lucky logger all around.
All right, Arash. So obviously they're Grey Cup week. Lots of discussions that go on behind the scenes. You know, what are you hearing? We've had some GM news today in the league. What are you hearing about GM coaches possibly moving cities and moving teams?
Yeah, we saw the first domino fall, and everybody was waiting for Edmonton to move first. They just announced it earlier. I was hoping they were going to wait an extra day because I was going to come on and report to you that Ed Hervey was going to be the next GM of the Elks. Would not surprise me if Rick Campbell leaves BC and ends up being Ed Hervey's head coach with the Elks.
And brings VA?
Rick Campbell, son of Hugh, no. I believe it's going to be Trey Ford. I believe VA is going to go to Calgary. That's me reading the tea leaves there. I think.
So do you think Campbell is leaving, or is he getting the boot? Or does it matter?
I think they're, what do they call it? A mutual parting of the ways or something like that. Again, this is my read on the situation.
Yep.
Now, this is where it gets interesting, though. And the reason I'm not like definitively reporting this is while I fully believe Rick Campbell's going to Edmonton, the belief is that Ryan Rigmaiden, the assistant GM of the BC Lions, is going to get promoted to GM. Rigmaiden used to work in Winnipeg, and the belief was that Rigmaiden was going to bring Buck Pierce, the Bombers' offensive coordinator, to Vancouver. Pierce used to be the quarterback of the Lions, to be the head coach. After that performance day, does that still remain the case? We'll see. I think part of this is they want a former quarterback working with Nathan Rourke. I think Rigmaiden really likes Buck Pierce. But I've just watched 3 straight Grey Cups where play calling was a real issue. Obviously, there's more to it than just Grey Cup play calling, becoming a head coach, but that's kind of the latest on that front.
I think lots to chew on coming right off the heels of the Grey Cup. Lots to talk about. So quickly then, about what are we hearing about quarterbacks, or what are your thoughts around possible Montreal quarterback moving potentially? Vernon Adams. So you said Vernon Adams to Calgary. Is that sort of the gut feel?
I would say it's more kind of a little more than gut feel. I think it's more kind of conversations that have been going on. I can all but definitively report this, though, fellas. Cody Fajardo is done with the Alouettes.
Whoa!
They're going to move forward with Davis Alexander as their quarterback. Now, unless Cody's willing to stay behind for a significant pay cut and be the backup,
what's significant?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Because
anytime I've been posed that question, my next was like, "What's significant?"
Right.
Wow.
Right. And my other read on that was that Jason Moss really wanted to keep Cody, but Danny Machocha liked Davis Alexander, and I think that the GM almost always wins that battle. So, yeah.
Arash, Kellen here. We've talked to a lot of quarterbacks here, and early we talked about Collaros, but how much longer do you think Zach Collaros puts on the blue and gold?
So Zach's now a father of 3. Zach's been hit a lot in his career. Zach's body is pretty beat up. Zach's put in a lot of years in pro football. Like, I was just watching that game on Sunday thinking to myself, man, Zach in 2014 started in this game for Hamilton. And he already had a Grey Cup on his resume at that point as a backup in Toronto. I wouldn't be surprised if after next season, Zach thinks about hanging him up. Like that body's been through so much. He's got a young family. But you never know, as the wind blows, do guys' minds change? Does the body feel okay, etc.? Zach's a smart guy. He's made some dough. But he took hellacious this year. Remember one in the throat earlier in the year. There's stuff that happened that nobody really knew about either. So I just have to think that it's sooner rather than later, and it could even be a scenario where 2025 is nearing the end.
Jets. So we're going to NFL here now. Jets fire their GM.
Yes. Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
Robert Saleh's got to be laughing somewhere at this point.
Oh.
I mean, what do you and what can you even say about how toxic Aaron Rodgers is and must be?
That's going to be his legacy.
So here you have a guy who's been to one Super Bowl in his career.
One.
Since going to the Jets, their record is 10-28. They fired the head coach. They fired the GM. All in 20 months. They went and got all the toys Aaron wanted. Cobb, then it was Devontae Adams and a few others in between. I mean, nothing that he asked for didn't come through, and now look at what all this is.
I don't know. I love watching the Jets absolutely implode and stink, but I still like the Dallas Cowboys watching this thing go down in flames more. Like the roof's caving, the roof's falling in.
Literally, the roof is caving in.
I don't know. Like I'm starting to feel sorry for Cowboys fans. That's where it's got to. Like the laughing, the big, poking, haha. Now it's like, whoa, this is sad. Oh, look at that. There is the roof. You're watching the stream. Colson and Curtis, good job. That could have done some damage. And in the States, you get hit with that. I would take it.
It looks like
I would have ran underneath it.
It looks like the side of a space shuttle, doesn't it?
It does.
But no, in all seriousness, and then you're a Patriots fan too. You a Patriots fan? Yeah, so all three of us are Patriot fans. Look at that. I bring in winners here. Well, kind of. Last couple of years excluded. But they're talking about Belichick. The game really passed him by. The two, like, is everyone missing what happened when Brady left there? And then Mac Jones came. Yeah, McDaniels was there. He kind of was okay. And then those other 2 years, like, speaking of embarrassing, it was like Tyson getting rolled out to fight again, where it was like Bill is out there and the Patriots lose by 24 to Cleveland. It's like, no, that's not your answer. Any team out there? I don't know. Kellen, I don't think Bill's the answer to any team in 2024. Maybe if it was 1989.
Yeah, you have to, that combo coach quarterback can be so special. Obviously with Brady and BB and what you see with Andy Reid and Mahomes right now, I don't see BB building that with any of the available jobs. I guess, is he gonna, him and Dak, who knows how long he's out, are you gonna create that chemistry there? I don't know. Like, that's not the style of play that BB's all about. Like,
Kellen, do you think Bill's gonna go turn around any team in this day and age?
No, I don't. He's trying to get up with his current girlfriend. So he's getting an idea for what life's like in your early 20s, or if she's even that old. But no, I don't think that's the case. But when we were first talking about this, I was wondering if they still had the letterhead that he was no longer the HC of the NYJ. If he could just scratch it out and say, I'm interested in being the GM of the NYJ. But no, I
don't
just
think so.
yeah.
So here's
I don't
the
think he's
thing.
interested.
Bill's going to turn 73 next year. Do you really want to start a full rebuild?
No.
Or is it a situation like if Philly implodes in the first round of the playoffs, does it make sense that he goes to the Eagles? That's a team that might be better built to win now. The Cowboys aren't going to win anytime now. The Giants are a disaster. The Jets are hopeless.
Jacksonville.
Like, is it a team? Forget it. But he may end up there. Because they give him full control, and they actually have a quarterback.
Like
Look,
to your point, I
why
think
is Bill coming back? Bill's coming back because he wants to break Don Shula's record for the most wins all time. Right?
Exactly.
I think part of it, sorry to interrupt, there's the record, and now after what happened at the end of New England, he's got to save some face. Because he's going to go out. For me, guys like me, I'm thinking like those last 2 years, how bad that was.
I don't know, man. Come on. Got 7 rings on the resume. Does anyone remember Bill Walsh ended as a college coach, where they talk about him as the most innovative offensive mind of all time?
Good point. But I think it's the only reason he comes back at that age is to chase the record. He's not gonna come back to a team that's struggling to put wins together. Like, why would you do that at that age? It seems like he's really enjoying the media side too.
Yeah, kind of. And his girlfriend is really young. She's no Sydney Thomas, but she's young. That was the ring girl in the Tyson fight. Do you have your notepad handy? Okay, here. Let's go around the horn. I'm going to end with this, and we're going to hold everyone to it. Since there's so many of us here today. And you don't have to take a team if you don't want. Here's the game. What team eliminates Kansas City in the playoffs?
Oof.
First to you.
I'll take the Steelers.
Pains me to say this. We saw it this weekend. I think the Bills are finally going to get back to the Super Bowl this year.
Curtis, Colson, you guys can play along. Curtis, do you even know who's in the league?
I'm a big Chiefs fan, baby.
Okay, you take the Chiefs. Hey, ride or die, right? Sheriff?
I'm going to go with the Bills because of Josh Allen.
Okay.
I just like Curtis throwing the Chiefs on their bus. They're going to eliminate themselves. That's what I took that as. I don't know. Let's go the Eagles.
In the Super Bowl. Arash?
I'm going to go off the board here, guys. I'm going with the once San Diego, now Los Angeles Superchargers.
Wow, good call.
With what Harbaugh and Herbert are doing there, I like that call because I was thinking, a sneaky pick. Pittsburgh is looking good. Chargers are looking good. Then you got Baltimore and the Bills, who are kind of the incumbents to knock them off. And then I got a sneaky. Even you can throw Houston in there at some point.
Oh, maybe.
Okay, so Arash is going Chargers. So I want to take something totally different. I'll go Baltimore. So we all got something different, and then a round of Lucky Loggers. And what is it?
Lucky Loggers and Western Pizza. Come on now.
Okay,
here we go.
We'll go. You and I are going double or nothing because you already owe me. So
yeah, there you go.
All right. Okay. Thanks, buddy.
See you, boys.
Have a good one.